from the astrology perspective, we still have all planets direct until 421. So the eclipse is going to happen on 419. Then we have the start, and 419, 420, just depends upon where you're at. Then we have the start of Taurus season. And then we have Mercury retrograde. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Next week, next Twitchy Tuesday is going to be real lit, I am sure. So it's going to be this really quick succession of energy changes that are going to happen. So we have this week into next week to really, again, have this intentionality about our actions and about what we're doing and what we're going to be bringing forward and what we're starting, what we're changing, what we're leaving behind as we begin to move forward. And then we start to have these retrogrades. We are at the start of quarter two. There is pure potential here. And that is going to be the theme for sure over the eclipse. And then as we finalize that eclipse into May, and into June. So today, again, we have the Sun and Jupiter conjunction, and we'll talk about, between this Libra full moon, which, by the way, for anybody that is in here and has access to the chat, how was this Libra full moon for you? Even me, you can hear it. I keep kind of switching cadences and I keep like wanting to pull into the Libra, wanting to pull into this energy of like unity and togetherness and relationships and all of this. But at the same time, I'm like, wait, hold on, there's a process. We need to ground. We need to get, what about the Aries things in life? So I hope everybody's Libra full moon was so wonderful. I was actually traveling last week, and this is how I love how astrology works, because I am not one of the astrologers that plan my life around auspicious elections or like, oh my gosh, let me pull the chart for that moment before I do something. I kind of, Five of Wands, I leave it up to chance. I leave it up to the universe. I leave it up to there. But what I always love is the connections that get shown. So I had a work trip last week, and how that connected and how that got brought together. This work trip, which was all about connecting, building relationships, building unity, having competitiveness. No wonder the Five of Wands is here. Having this competitiveness between me and my coworkers who, since the pandemic, a lot of us haven't seen each other in person, maybe but once, maybe twice. So it was a lot about connecting and building. And of course it landed right on the Libra full moon. Of course it did. Like, you can't make it up. And I love, again, leaving it up to chance and change. That's how I love to use astrology, not really necessarily doing the election piece. There are some wonderful astrologers that do that, and I think there's a really high value in that. But for me, I love seeing the after effect. I love planning something and then going, sweet shit. Of course I chose this day to put this down. So that is your Libra full moon. Again, I hope everybody had a great one. And happy Venus in Gemini. Happy chatty time. Venus in Gemini. That is a wonderful breath of fresh air. It's a wonderful, we talked about this last week. There's just this need to be outside. Like, I even have the windows open right now. It's just I love this time of year. I love this change of season. And I love that Venus gets into Gemini right now, of course, always in this alignment. And through all of these changes that are occurring, here's Venus just to smooth the way for us. Venus has a big week this week. She is smoothing the way. He's helping us socialize our thoughts. And this week is very punctuated in how the astrology is coming out. It's like we have two really big aspects today, and then two really big aspects on the 14th, and that's it. We only have like 4 aspects to talk about for this whole Twitchy Tuesday, but it's very punctuated. It's very like the word staccato is coming in. It's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, rest. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, rest. And that's really how this this style of air conversations, all of this air energy that we're feeling, I feel like this week is just in that mode of go, go, go. Okay, stop. Go, go, go. Okay, stop. It's what was that game where everybody's on the line and like red light, green light. That's what it is. Red light, green light. That is what this week is. Just that whole image just showed up in my head right now. It's like red light, green light this week. Go, stop, go. And that is what we are here to really help with the wisdom of the oracle, help with this tarot deck to help us guide, change, guide that cardinal energy. That's why these two are here, because of that stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, as everything else is happening and things around the world are happening. So let's talk about the 11th. So the 11th today, we have Venus in Gemini trine Pluto in Aquarius. That has already occurred. Conversation is still very much playing out. That happened at 5:14 a.m. Central Time at 0 degrees 16 minutes. And Venus got into Gemini, had barely a second to register the air that was whooshing through her hair. And then she meets up with Pluto in Aquarius. And then 3 of Wands. Yeah, this new movement forward, this direction forward, this, hey, before you go off on this journey, Venus, before you just really get into this Gemini air love, we got some things to talk about. There's some things happening that we need to discuss. And then Sun conjunct Jupiter, and that has actually just happened. So 5:07 p.m. Central Time. It is 5:52 right now. The Sun just conjunct Jupiter in Aries at 21 degrees 45 minutes. So we are still within the Cazimi range, 17 minutes. It's go time. Again, state what you need, and we'll get into that a little bit more. And then it's a stop. We stop for 2 days. We don't have any other conversations. And then on the 14th, Venus in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces at 4 degrees 4 minutes. That's going to happen at 11:38 a.m. Central. And then Saturn in Pisces will sextile the North Node at the exact same degree point. So we'll talk about these number 4s here in a minute, but at the exact same degree, Saturn will then sextile the North Node. So Saturn goes into a square, immediate sextile at 12:30 p.m. So just under an hour later. And even though Venus and this trine to Pluto is kind of that signature energy for today, when Venus got into Gemini, she immediately started applying to this square with Saturn. So even though the front runner of this energy is Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn is still very much in that background, still hearing the conversation. They may not be able to be seen. Saturn may not have a lot of viewpoints right now, but Saturn is still part of this conversation and how this week's going to kind of unfold.